welcome back to the channel. Today we have an apocalypse game in play. We've got 4,500 points of Dark Eldar fighting and assaulting this Imperial Manufactorum that has been defended by the Admech. The Admech have let out a cry for help, and the Grey Knights have turned up to defend. Today's mission is cleanse and control with Dawn of War deployment. We've got the 6 objectives: number 1, number 2, number 3, 4, number 5, and number 6. So today the Admech are being controlled by Phil. Hi Phil. And there's Jacob, shout out to the Warforge. And the Grey Knights have been played by Tom. Tom, the dickhead that he is very, very happy that I've got demons on the board. And why is that, Tom?
Basically because, as a member of the RSPCA, we'd heard how they'd been treating the dogs, and well, we've come to put them down in the most horrible manner possible. So that should be fun.
Yes, very fun indeed. Hopefully, though, they should be doing something. So let's have a quick look through the forces. Quickly going through the Dark Eldar forces. For troops, we've got 2 units of Cabalites in Raiders with Splinter Axe and Night Shields. They are in reserve. Heavy support, we've got a Ravager with Triple Lance and Night Shields. We've got 10 Chimera with a Beastmaster with Agonizer. We've got a Harlequin Segarax Jest, 2 of them with Fusion Pistols, 2 with Caress, 2 with Kiss, and the Troopmaster has a Storied Sword. They're in a Starweaver. We've got 2 Skyweavers with Zephyr Glaives in there. These 2 Raiders house a Grotesquerie that have Rage, and of course Urian is heading up the one in here, and the Archon with a Shadowfield, Huskblade, Soul Trap, and Helm of Spite. That's going to be nasty against Tom's psychic powers coming in. We've got Drazar and 10 Incubi, 1 being a Clavex in the Talos, in the Tantalus. We've got a Dark Artisan formation with Twin-Linked Haywire Blaster, Liquefier Gun, and of course the Dark Artisan is in the centre. Down here we've got the Corpse Thief. We have a Forge World Reaper with Night Shields, and we've got a unit of 9 Reaver Jet Bikes. The champion there having an Agonizer, and there's 3 Cluster Caltrops. In reserve we've got a Scalpel Squadron, a Razor Wing, a Void Raven, and a unit of Scourge with Haywire Blasters. So Phil is controlling the Admech today. The Rust Stalkers have joined up with the Infiltrators. They're going to be a unit of 10 Infiltrators, and they've got the Omniscient Mask. We've got a unit of 10 Rangers with the Omnispecs in there. We've got 2 Haywire and 1 Transonic, and I can't remember the name of the artifact.
Skull of Eldar Nikolai.
There we go, Skull of Eldar Nikolai. We've got 2 Onagers with Cognos Manipulators and Icarus. Yeah, 2 separate ones with Skyfire Arrays. I know this guy has a neutron laser, but I haven't magnetized the other one yet. Coming across, we've got the Datasmith and the Castellans. Castellans all have heavy phosphor. Datasmith has the one that grants Cognos. We've got 2 Dragoons, but they are going to be running the Sniper variants with the pistols. We've got 3 Breaches with arc rifles, and we've got the Dominus on there. What's the Dominus got?
Scryer Skull.
Scryer Skull, cool stuff indeed. We've got 3 Destroyers with Grav, a Neutron Laser Onager. We've got a unit of 10 Vanguard with 3 Plasma and Omnispecs and the Pateradium. And we've got yet another Neutron Laser Onager. And of course we have Winston, Phil's Vindicare Assassin, and Phil is wearing a box. Hi.
I think inside the box.
Meanwhile, Tom, what have you got? We've got a Vindicator, Vindicare even. Steve the Vindicare.
Yeah.
Right.
We have 5 interceptors with falchions, 1 with. Well, the Justicar has a melter bomb, and there's an incinerator in there as well. Good stuff. Then we have the Dread Knight Brethren. All 3 have teleporters, all 3 have the swords, all 3 have the incinerator, and all 3 have the heavy side cannon as well. Just for good measure.
The Dark Eldar.
Yeah, fantastic, isn't it? And then we have 10 interceptors, same setup as the last one, so 2 incinerators. Again, just a car has a melter bomb, and everything else has falchions.
And what have you got in
Choppy,
reserve?
choppy. And in reserve, I have, of course,
Have a quick look at them.
squad of Terminators with Drago, had to happen. And again, everyone's got standard swords, a side cannon, and the just a car has a melter bomb. Same with the Terminator squad behind, apart from it's got my level 3 librarian with the Libum Demonica, who has every psychic power known to man, apart from Sanctuary.
Yep, and that's due to his warlord trait as well. And I think Phil wants my attention.
Coke for Phil's.
We go 4,500 points of Imperial versus almost pure Dark Eldar. However, as it stands, the Dark Eldar are going first. The Warlord is, of course, the Homunculus and the Dark Artisan. He grants re-rollable feel no pains of a 1 on all of this tastiness here. However, wow, I love playing with... Wow. I'm guessing Phil's going to attempt to seize. That's a 2. So, Dark Eldar, turn 1. Right, so Dark Eldar turn 1, we drew Adaptive Strategy, and I've rolled a 4 and a 5, which we should be able to get things on my side. Target enemy veterans, we need to kill an elite's choice. I'm going to go for them Vindicares. And let them bleed, remove models from 3 units. Right, so of course turn 1 Scalpel Squadron comes in. One of them got direct hit here, and he is going for Steve. We've moved everything up, the Chimera pushing forward, and we've got the Void Weaver looking hopefully to get some shots in and remove a model or 2 of the infiltrators if we can. And the Ravager can just about see one of the Onagers through that doorway over there. Meanwhile in the centre, the Star Weaver and both the Raiders are pushing forward. The Star Weaver is going to lend a hand with fire over that way, or potentially in on the Grey Knights in the middle. We managed to drop one of the other Venoms here from the Scalpel Squadron, again going for Winston, but unfortunately scattered back and failed dangerous terrain, so that one is now immobilised, but hopefully we can take Winston out at this side. The Dark Artisan got a 6-inch move through cover, but the Corpse Thief only getting a 2, so they're going to score me objective 4. The Reaper has pulled sideways looking to get shots in, hopefully at the breaches, or the destroyers rather, in that building. But the Reavers are holding back. The Dread Knights on this side have got a 12-inch movement. We don't want to get too far forward, so I'm keeping them back for the moment. The Tantalus as well, also going to be lending a hand, shooting through hopefully at the breaches. You can see straight through the windows in those ruins. So there's no psychic phase for the Dark Eldar, which means hopefully we've got a decent shooting phase coming up. Right, so it seems that the Dark Eldar can't shoot for shit. So, what happened? Basically, the Reaper took aim with a large blast over here and unfortunately didn't do any wounds to the destroyers at all. The Splinter Cannon on the Venom managed to take out Winston, but then shots from both these Raiders and the Tantalus only did 2 wounds of damage to these guys here. So the 2 front ones are on 1 wound apiece. Not good at all. I remembered about the incinerators having torrent on Tom's Dread Knight, so I've turbo boosted the bikes this way and spread them out a little bit as well. Down here, this Venom tried to take out Steve, and despite getting a crap ton of wounds on him, Tom passed every single save. In the end, I wasn't going to do it, but I decided to try and double him out with the Dark Lancers from the Ravager, and Tom failed 1 save. So that managed to take him down. We're on this flank, I thought, right, small blast plus a Splinter Cannon, a Sheraton Cannon even. I'm bound to kill one of these guys. Nope, a single wound. Phil passing his save and feel no pain. The dogs in the middle have stayed where they are, and we're just biding our time waiting for Tom's reserves to come in so that we can charge. So I do score objective 5 and I do score objective 4. I've killed both Vindicares and 2 models from the destroyers. It was actually the Corpse Thief that did the damage. He did pass his morale check though and is staying where he is. So I do score them. Right, so I score Adaptive Strategy for D3. Target enemy veterans, I managed to kill 2 elite units, so I score 1 point for that. Let them bleed, I managed to kill 3 models from 3 units. I killed 2 Vindicators and the Destroyers, so I get 2d3 plus 2, 1 for target enemy veterans and 1 for First Blood. So 2d3, typical, absolutely typical. So that's 4 points to the Dark Eldar. Right, so the guys are using the Grey Knights cards. They've drew no prisoners. Secure objective 6, which is on my side. Secure objective 1, which they should be able to do. So both Drago and the Librarian were in. Tom tried to land the Librarian down here away from the Helm of Spite and get Cleanse and Flame off possibly and do a lot of damage. Unfortunately, he scattered onto the Ravager, so I've actually placed him just behind. And the reason I've done that is basically if he's there, he can only damage the Ravager, whereas if I place him anywhere else, he's going to be kind of right in the middle. Yes, the Helm Spike might have been a good idea, but I decided I'd rather not lose all the Raiders with that Ignores cover. So he's back there. I'm going to lose the Raider, but then I'm going to charge him with Drazar and the Incubi. So that should be tasty indeed. Meanwhile, Drago, the bastard that he is, direct hit straight behind the Corpse Thief. So if he doesn't kill any of the Corpse Thief, I think I might divert them back to movement phase. Thomas shunted the Interceptors right over here to be able to get some nice templates in on the Hounds. And Phil has moved the Infiltrators forward, looking hopefully to take out the Mandrakes at this side. It looks as though everything else is just pushing forward slightly. The Rangers and the Onagers are pulling sideways ever so slightly. Going to be looking to hunt down that Void Weaver. I think the Skyfire and them are going to be invaluable against all of the Raiders. Meanwhile, the Castellans and the Dragoons and everything else just staying where they are. And the Onagers moving around ever so slightly. Tom, meanwhile, has jumped all 3 Dread Knights forward. The lead guy in the centre is the one that is granting them shred, and the unit of 10 Interceptors looking to do some damage on the Corpse Thief if he can. We'll have to see what damage he does to that. So that's it for movement. We've got a reasonable sighted phase coming up, and then it's going to be a turn of pain and hurt for the Dark Eldar. So in the sighted phase, Tom rolled an almighty 1, and unfortunately the Librarian didn't Gate of Infinity out. Instead, he cast Banishment on these guys, and unfortunately with my 1 dice, I didn't stop it. So these guys have got, they got Force? Did they get Force off?
Force and Hammer Hand.
Force and Hammer Hand, lovely. And Tom's protecting himself over here. These guys have even got Force and Hammer Hand, and both Librarians here. Librarians, Dread Knights have Force on them as well. Yep, only that one does not. So let's move into the shooting phase. Right, so shooting phase has been absolutely brutal. Drago and the side cannon unit at the side made this Reaper jink. In the centre, those Shred Dread Knights and the Interceptors did 2 wounds on one Talos, 1 on the other, and killed the one in the centre. They are going to need Soul Blaze checking in a moment. We lost this Venom thanks to the neutron laser over there, and then the other one killed the racks inside. The Destroyer and the Breaches all took aim at this one with Yuri and Rakarth in. Unfortunately, Phil didn't do any damage at all. The racks that were inside, the last 2 were killed thanks to the Phosphorus Serpenters on these guys. The Castellans here took aim through at the Venom and blew it up, and the racks inside took fire from the Rangers, and there's 1 left. 1 rack left with the Ossifactor. We also lost a single Mandrake from all the Infiltrators at this side. Phil then tried a multi-charge against the Mandrakes and the remaining rack, tried to get more than 5 units defeated. Unfortunately, he rolled a double 1. And as you can see here, the Chimera have been significantly thinned out due to their invulns being reduced, thanks to these guys with the Flamer and the Stormbolt of Fire coming in all together. The Ravager here also took fire from the Stormbolters and the side cannon, and unfortunately Tom blew the centre Dark Lance off and caused it to jink. So there's going to be a lot of damage done there, but let's have a quick look at the points and see what they score. Right, so for cards for the lads, they have scored no prisoners. They managed to kill 4 units, me surviving by those Rack and Mandrakes still being alive. They do score secure objective 1, but they don't score secure objective 6. So they've elected to discard objective 6 and they're going to roll the D3 for no prisoners. Tom, do you want to roll that? For 3 points. So that gets them 4 points equal to the Dark Eldar straight away. Right, so turn 2 we drew disrupt their command, kill a HQ choice. Now I reckon I can do it in the assault phase. The bigger they are, kill a Lord of War, and again I reckon I can do this in the assault phase. Cleanse and burn, I've got to keep enemy units away from objective marker 5 I rolled. So the Void Raven has hurtled in and we need to drop his bomb on these guys here. Hopefully we can do a lot of damage. One of the 2 raiders landed and the Razor Wing came hurtling in looking to take out the Onager. I didn't realise, but I was just within 48 inches of Phil's Onager over at that side. Meanwhile, the Corpse Thief and all of the Reavers are going over here for Drago. We need to get some damage in on him and potentially take him out. Hopefully we can. Meanwhile, down on this flank, Drazar has jumped out and he's leading 10 Incubi and a Clavex straight for the Librarian Warlord. Hopefully that'll get us disrupt the command. He's also going to be lending a hand from the Harlequin Skyweavers there with the Zephyr Glaives. AP2 on the charge, should be doing lots of tasty wounds to these guys. In the centre, the Chimera, the Mandrakes and the Rack are all going to be going for these 4 interceptors. Meanwhile, the Harlequins, I didn't know what to do with them, so I've jumped the Starweaver forward and it's immobilised itself. They've jumped out, they're going to get to run and then charge straight in at the Rangers through there. Going to keep away from the infiltrators though, as we don't want them in combat with the Quins. We need to see what the Quins are made of. It's been a while since they've actually done something. In the centre, we push both raiders forward 6 inches. Both units of Grotesque have jumped out. Yuri and Rakarth in this one will be going after the Dominus. I need to place Yuri in actually. And over here we've got the Archon and these Grots going for the Castellans. Right, so over here, despite all of the weight and number of attacks coming in from poison shots, we only killed a single Terminator. Killing Drago is going to be very, very difficult, but we might get it. Might. Over this side, unfortunately, the bomb scattered wildly from the Void Raven, only killed 2 of the interceptors, and unfortunately shook the Raider here as well. At least it's only shaken the poison shots from the guys inside though, killing most of these. And Tom, they're going to need a morale check, mate. In the shooting phase as well, the Void Raven shot down at the lead Dread Knight, the one granting them shred, and unfortunately failed to do anything, Tom passing his invuns. Down here, morale check and they're fine. The Razor Wing absolutely obliterated the Vanguard with 6 missiles, 4 missiles, 3 of them getting direct hits. Look at poor Phil. Oh,
I forgot about.
Yeah. So yeah, not much else was done. These guys are going to be charging into combat, but down here, the Shuriken Cannon on the Starweaver managed to kill a single one of the infiltrators. The Mandrakes brought down 1 of the interceptors, and at this side, the Shuriken Cannons and the disintegrator cannons from these guys killed 2 Terminators. Tom making 3 out of 5 of his inruns on the AP2 disintegrator cannons. However, these guys are going to be charging in combat. Right, so in combat, everything here charged in. Tom wanted to issue a challenge with Drago, so the arena champion stepped up and she accepted, and with the Caltrops did a single wound to Drago. All of the Hammer of Wraths from the other guys managed to kill the rest of the Terminators, and despite these having +1 attack, not a single wound was put on Drago from the Reavers. The Corpse Thief, meanwhile, despite getting 10 wounds through on Drago, Tom failed 2 inruns, 2 3-ups, which meant Drago is left on 1 wound. 1 wound stopping me from getting at least 4 points that turn. Ouch. In combats down here, we managed to do a single wound on one of the breaches, the one that was on 1 wound, and Phil luckily passed his leadership check. Down here, we took 2 wounds to Overwatch thanks to those guys having Cognus. The Archon issued a challenge, but the Datasmith elected to bow out. The Grotesques there, unfortunately, only taking a wound but not doing any damage at all. to the Castellans. And over here, the Harlequins hurtled in, lost 2 of their number to Overwatch, but managed to kill, was it 6? The storied sword on the Troop Master, managing to bring down the Alpha in that squad. And then, of course, being initiative 7, we managed to overrun them. Down at this side, everything hurtled in and cut down 2 of the Purifiers, Interceptors, and yeah, Tom managed to pass his save there. Obviously, we lost a large number to Overwatch thanks to the Wall of Flame on that Incinerator, and only having a 6-up in run on the dogs meant that only 1 of them made it in. Meanwhile, down here, devastation. Slayer the Warlord, the Incubi and Drazar came hurtling in. The Clavex issued a challenge and the Librarians stepped up, and Drazar killed the rest of the Terminators, and then the Clavex cut down the Librarian and the remaining Terminator. The rest of the Incubi and the Skyweavers not even getting to swing before they've consolidated back. So let's have a look at what points I score. Right, so as it stands, I was on 4 points. I get D3 plus 2 for this, so that puts me straight away at 6 points. 7 points for Slayer the Warlord plus D3. That puts me at 10. The bigger they are, I don't unfortunately get, but I also got Cleanse and Burn. There's no enemy units within 9 inches of objective marker 5, so I get another D3. Puts me at 13 points. And I'm going to keep hold of this because I reckon Tom's going to Gate of Infinity out. So Imperial turn 2, the Drew secure objective 6. Assassinate for kill a character, and overwhelming firepower, kill something in the shooting phase. Right, so we've got to film Phil's Canticles. Last time he used +1 ballistic skill and reroll 1s and 2s in the shooting phase. In this turn, he's elected to add 3 to his weapon skill, and he has used Chant of Remorse's Fist to add reroll some close combat attacks for them Castellans, I believe. Movement phase, Phil's moved both of the onagers round this way, probably looking to start eating into the Raiders, and he's moved the Dragoons forward to assist in taking them out as well. Meanwhile, at this side, both onagers again pushing forward. The Strength 10 blasts looking to probably do quite a bit of damage. Tom, meanwhile, he's moved the Interceptors up this way to potentially take out the Raider, and the Dread Knights, as you can see, are converging in on the Reavers and the Corpse Thief. I reckon I'm probably going to lose quite a bit of that this turn, but he's going to have to shift Drago out in order to shoot, which is good because then I might be able to get Drago and get that card in my turn. Let's have a look and see what he does in the Psychic phase. Right, so in the Psychic phase, both Dread Knights on each side have got Sanctuary off, and this guy got Force off. Drago, as you can tell, jumped out of the combat, and we'll show you where he went in a few minutes, but then these 3 guys unleashed hell down on this unit. No wounds at all on the Corpse Thief, but obliterating the Reavers. Meanwhile, down here, these guys didn't do a single hull point at all to the Raider, and the Skyfire on the Onager failed to do anything to the Jink and Void Raven. Right, the neutron laser from the back Onager there elected to try and fire into this, but failed to do anything, and the Destroyer tried to take out the Starweaver, but the Starweaver, passing his cover save, stopping Phil from hopefully getting overwhelming firepower. These guys here shot into the Harlequins. I managed to pass a couple of me in runs, and the Troop Master is left on 1 wound. 1 single wound. Meanwhile, Drago, the pussy that he is, Tom, is hiding back there on 1 wound.
He's going to murder you.
He's not going to murder me. He's
going to come in,
yeah,
caress you, and then stab you.
Well, I was going to say the Harlequins could have caressed him, but Phil killed them.
My choice.
Yeah. So yeah, that was it for shooting. Very, very quick shooting phase there. Not a whole lot to do besides these guys obliterating the Reavers. So let's move into combats. The combats down here, this Dread Knight made it in. The one at the other side, unfortunately, failing the charge. We managed to get 2 wounds through that 4-up in run, thanks to Tom having Sanctuary. He got 3 wounds back, and 4-up field no pin reroll 1s. Couldn't pass a single one. So he's down to 2 wounds, and I've got 6 wounds left between the entire Corpse Thief. Hopefully we can take this Dread Knight down in Tom's combat phase. In the centre, these guys charged in, and the Melter Bomb from the Justicar managed to blow up the Raider, killing 4 of the Kabbalite warriors inside. In the centre, the Cognos Manipulator on the Onager managed to kill 2 of the Grots, insta-killing them due to being toughness 5, but no wounds were dealt out between Urian and the other grotesque. In the centre, as expected, these guys charged in and made mincemeat of the grotesques, and the castellans stepped up and tried to pummel the Archon, and unfortunately the Archon, first roll of his shadow field and a roll of 1. Not good whatsoever. Meanwhile down here, despite the 4 mandrakes, a rack and a chimera, unfortunately we couldn't get through Tom's power armor, and Tom managed to kill the rack, and then the chimera broke and ran back. Right, so the guys score assassinate for killing the Archon over here, and score overwhelming firepower for destroying the Ravager down here, as well as the Reavers. Only 2 units destroyed. Objective 6 is almost there. Tom desperately trying to claw this one back from these guys over here. Dark Eldar turn 3, we've still got the bigger they are. We've got drive them back. We need to control an objective marker that my opponent was controlling, and we'll have to kill the Rust Stalkers, infiltrators rather, to do that. That's going to be really difficult. And then we've got control the field, control any 2 even number objective markers. I reckon I can probably get that. So hopefully the Corpse Thief will take this guy down in combat, but I'm not expecting to have them last too much longer. The Reaper has leapt forward 12 inches. It's not jinking this turn, so I'm going to try and get the D3 hull points off the Onager over that way. Meanwhile down here, the Dark Artisan has come sideways, looking to hopefully take out these guys, and then we'll have some rapid fire poison shots from these as well. In the centre, both of the Raiders are staying where they are. They're hopefully going to help support take down the infiltrators, and the Flyers have come sideways, looking to hopefully get some shots in on this Onager as well. In the centre, we managed to land one of the Raiders that came in from reserves to hopefully take out these guys as well. There's so many wounds to chomp through there though. Meanwhile the Tantalus can see Drago straight through that ruined building over there, so hopefully we'll take him out. The Troop Master, he's making his way across to potentially take him out as well. In the down on this side here, the Skyweavers are going to look to take out that inset and make sure I control objective 6. And the Scourge have leapt on from the side, looking for shots in on the Onager. So lots of shooting to do this turn, and hopefully the Dark Eldar can retaliate hard. It was a tough combat phase last turn. What a turn of events in the shooting phase for the Dark Eldar. The Dark Artisan unit killing 3 of the Interceptors, the Justicar unfortunately staying alive. It was then a case of, do I rapid fire these guys in, or is it a bit of overkill when I could just charge these in? So I think I'm going to charge them in. I elected to shoot those guys at that Dread Knight, and we stripped them of 2 wounds. Big stuff there indeed. The Reaper took aim at the Onager over here. Aha.
Attack the crab.
And unfortunately failed to hit with the focus beam. Meanwhile, in the centre, what a turn of events. We didn't destroy the unit, they did fail the morale, and Phil rolled an 8-inch for the run. We needed them to run 10 inches for them to run away, but it was fire from both of the Raiders. Fire from this Raider with the rapid fire, and the splinter cannon on, the Shuriken cannon on the Starweaver there as well. I maybe should have shot the Skyweavers at them as well to potentially get that point, but the Skyweavers are going in there to make sure that I score this. Meanwhile, the Scourge, absolute marksmen that they are, first time ever they've done anything, land and then come straight across. 4 hits, 4 glances, and Phil being a lunatic, and managed to bring that one down. Meanwhile, as you can see, Drago is no more. The Lord of War cut down. The pilot of the Tantalus shooting straight through the doorway there, and Tom unfortunately failing 2 out of 5 saves. The Troop Master chucked a haywire grenade at the Onager, and Phil loves his crabs. Phil, how many crabs do you have?
I have 5.
You have 5 crabs? Stay away from me, please. Anyway.
And the 5th one is slimy.
So yeah, not a bad turn of events at all, but we've got a couple of combats. We've got this one down here, and hopefully we'll kill this Dread Knight. Hopefully. What a turn of events. These guys unfortunately did take 2 wounds from the Dread Knight, but managed to kill the lead guy, and he was the one that was granting Tom shred. So phenomenal stuff there. The Dark Artisan, of course, hurtled in and cut down the Justicar at this side. In combats down here, Yuri managed to get 3 instant death wounds on the Dominus, and Phil rolled a 1, killing the Dominus outright. The Grotesque only getting 1 wound through on the breaches, but then of course the Onager insta-killing it. So not great over there, but at least we took down the Dominus. In combats at this side, as expected, the Skyweavers hurtled in and cut through the Justicar at this side. We managed to consolidate over this way. Meanwhile, the Troop Master that was left charged at the Onager, and the gunman inside cut him down as he charged in.
That was the screams you made.
So not a bad turn at all for the Dark Eldar. However, we will now check out the cards. Right, so we get 3 points for the bigger they are. We also get D3 for control the field as I hold objective 6, 4 and 2. So D3 for 1 more puts me at 14. The bigger they are puts me at 17, plus the Corpse Thief have now killed 2 units, puts me at 19 points. I'm tempted to keep this, but it's going to be awkward to get hold of. I haven't got a whole lot of stuff left, so I think I might discard this one. So the guys have drew secure objective 5, ascendancy, and secure objective 6. 5 and 6 are both on my side of the table. So we've done the movement and the sighted phase, the destroyer and the Onager pulling forward, probably looking to start eating into the warriors and the Dark Artisan. Tom, meanwhile, he's a bit pissed off.
I'm gonna get him! I'm gonna get him!
He's determined. Everyone wants to kill this unit, so Tom is diverting 2 Grey Knight Dread Knights at it. Can he bring it down? No, both of them got Sanctuary off, and only the furthest guy got Force off. So I think I'm probably going to lose them, but I'm hoping to take that one down on 2 wounds and leave one of them left. The Dragoons, meanwhile, pushing forward, probably looking to charge the Dark Artisan over there as well. The Castellans, where's he going with them? Is he going for the Tantalus? Who knows? However, the Rust Stalkers have rallied, or the Infiltrators rather, so they are going to secure objective marker 1, and this Onager is looking to hopefully start eating away at the Raiders. It's not looking good for the forces of the Imperial, but they've still got a lot of tough units left. We'll have to see what damage they can do. Right, so in the shooting phase, this Dread Knight here with the Incinerator and the heavy side cannon managed to kill the lead Talos that was on 2 wounds. As a result, Tom's elected to shoot this guy into the Dark Artisan unit and managed to get 1 wound through. Phil decided to double team him, and with the Grav and the neutron laser from them, managed to get another wound through. The Talos is down to 1 wound. 1. Meanwhile, in the centre, the Castellan robots have shot across at the Tantalus, despite getting a single glance through, managing to pass our cover save. The Raider in the middle here, however, shot down thanks to that Skyfire Onager. So that was pretty much it for the entire shooting phase. We'll now move on to some assaults, and there's going to be 2 nasty charges over here. Right, so in combat down here, we managed to get another wound through on this Dread Knight before the Force instant death cut down the 2 remaining Talos. Meanwhile, we managed to do a single wound to Overwatch with the Twin Link Liquefied Gun at AP2. Woo! And then the Talos being Initiative 5 thanks to the Dark Artisan formation, granting that bonus, managed to cut the Dread Knight down before he swung. So we've consolidated back, and we're looking to kill this Dread Knight in our turn. The only other combats in the centre here, Phil charged the Dragoons at these guys, at the Tantalus, being Strength 5. They don't have the Taser, they've actually got the Sniper. Phil managed to get 2 pens and immobilise the Tantalus. That's not what I wanted at all. Meanwhile, this side, Urian managed to kill one of the breaches, and thankfully the Onager failed to hit. Urian needs to survive 1 more turn in order to get Eternal Warrior, but he's going to tie that Onager up for quite some time. So let's have a look at the cards. Phil and Tom do score Ascendancy as they control this one, this objective, and this objective down here for D3 victory points. So Phil, how many do you score?
3!
3 victory points, and you're going to discard objective 6?
Yes, discard objective 6.
Cool. Alright, so we've drew defend objective 1. Don't think I'm going to be able to control that for 2 turns, as I don't even control it yet. We've drew no mercy. I need to kill stuff in the shooting and the assault phase, so we'll have to see how that goes. And storm objective 2, Castellans are on that, but I think I can get it. Right, so these guys are going to go for the Dread Knight in the hopes of killing it in the assault phase. I really just want to shoot it down, but I don't know. The Warriors have got a decent chance of killing it, but then I'm going to struggle to kill something else in the assault phase. The only other thing I might be able to do is Urian might be able to kill the Breacher, or we might be able to take out these guys, depending on how the shooting from the shuriken cannons and the poison shots do here. And we've only got 3 infiltrators on 1 wound apiece, but we've got that all-important AP4 there from the Mandrakes, looking to hopefully take that one down. Right, so down here, everything from the Dark Artisan formation shot into this Dread Knight, and unfortunately we couldn't get rid of it. Even fire from the Warriors. Down here we got a direct hit with the Storm Vortex and rolling a 2 for the D3, getting 1 pen and 1 nothing, and unfortunately couldn't bring the Onager down. Phil passed his in run. Across here, everything fired in. The Skyweavers, the poison shots from the Raider, and we killed 1 Castellan. That was it. So we need to kill these guys in assaults or kill the Dread Knight down here. We did, however, manage to kill the Ruststalkers, infiltrators rather, in the shooting phase, thanks to the AP4 goodiness of the Mandrakes. And Scourge even got a couple of shots through at the Dragoons, with Phil passing his cover saves. So in the combat phase down here, the Talos made mincemeat of the Dread Knight. I was sweating. The Talos on 1 wound, and Tom not doing any damage to Overwatch, thankfully. Meanwhile in the centre, despite the sheer weight of attacks coming in from the Incubi and Drazar, unfortunately Phil couldn't hold the Castellan and the Datasmith where they were. Urian only getting a single wound on the Breacher, and the Breacher passing his save. The Onager not doing any damage at all to Urian. And that was it. We tried to charge the Skyweavers in, but unfortunately failed the 10-inch charge. So let's have a look and see what points we score. Right, so defend objective 1 I don't get, but I am holding it for the first turn. No mercy, I killed infiltrators, I killed Castellans and a Dread Knight, so I get D3 plus 3 because I did it in the shooting and the assault phase. For 2 more points, so that puts me at 21. Plus Storm Objective 2, I managed to grab that back as well for another D3 victory points for 1 more, so that puts me at 23 points. Right, so Phil and Tom have drew hold the line. They need to kill Urian to do that. Phil just needs to get that Onager through the Forp in run of Urian. He's got secure objective 5 still, and supremacy. He needs to control at least twice as many as me. So we have done the entire turn. Phil's elected to shoot the Skyfire Onager at the Skyweavers and killed 1 of them. In combat, the Dragoons failed to do anything. And down here, Urian unfortunately fell to the strength 10 from the Onager. It was my turn. In my next turn, I would have actually had Eternal Warrior, so he wouldn't have killed him, but Urian did, however, kill the Breacher. Meanwhile, across here, the Onager here managed to blow up the Reaper and kill 1 of the Warriors in the process. The Destroyer doing 1 wound to the Kronos. That was it for the entire turn. We are going to call the game there. The Dark Eldar seem to have swarmed into the Manufactorum and taken it from the forces of the Imperium. I hope you enjoyed watching today's game. It's been great playing with Phil and Tom, especially the combo of Grey Knight and Admech. And hopefully Tom's Grey Knights will be back very, very soon. He wants a piece of the Demonkin when they are ready. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.